Hey, today I'm talking about 3 Ingrid Bergman films from later in her career. And the names of those 3 films are Autumn Sonata, Murder on the Orient Express, and Cactus Flower. First up is Autumn Sonata. This is a 1978 film starring Ingrid Berman and Liv Ullmann. And the basic premise is they play mother and daughter. They haven't seen each other in several years, but Liv writes to her mother being like, hey, come visit after all these years finally, please and thank you. And she does. And they're all like, yay, this is great. And then after that wears off, all of the emotions come out. Like literally a lifetime's worth of emotions just come pouring out of both of them. And it's great. I really love this film. Liv gives such an impressive performance. It's Ingrid Berman, and so she always gives incredible performances, and this is no exception. But Liv is just like, I was so blown away by her. I'm just like, you're in a scene with Ingrid Berman, and you're doing that? It was so incredible to watch. It was just so much raw, powerful emotion that it was beautiful in its sadness and just so incredible. I loved it so much. I will say it did take me a little bit to get into the movie, kind of like as everything's getting set up and whatnot. But once the emotional release starts to happen, I was hooked. And just like, there really was like a natural progression to all of the releases that really built up to a really fantastic, like realistic ending. It definitely does not have like a big Hollywood ending. It has a very normal, true to life ending that feels good. So yeah, I loved this movie, wholeheartedly would recommend it. Again, it might take you a little bit to get into it like me, but it's worth it to stick it out because it's a real good, real sad movie that's 100% worth a watch. Also, it's so cool to hear Ingrid Bergman speak in Swedish because she mostly does her roles in English and she's from Sweden, so like it's cool to finally hear her in her own language. So yeah, that was fun. Next up is Murder on the Orient Express from 1974. And if you've seen the new one, it's the same plot. They're both based off the same thing, Agatha Christie, and it's really good. The title explains the premise. There was a murder on a train and there's a detective who's trying to figure it all out. I will say I did know the conclusion to this story, like the who did the it's a whodunit, but that honestly didn't detract from my experience because I didn't know how the individual or individuals did it, so that was still fun. Plus, like, everyone just gave such a great performance. It's a packed cast. Like, I recognized a lot of the actors, and the ones that I didn't, I like looked up and I'm like, oh, I've seen these people and stuff. So that was fun. Sean Connery's in this one. He's not in it a lot though. So yeah, it was just a really fun movie. I will say again, this took me a bit to get into, a bit more than the last one. It wasn't until after the murder when he's finally like investigating and stuff that's when I got into it and realized it was so good. The beginning was setting up lots of like tone stuff and I just really wasn't vibing with what was happening. Like the train pulling away shot is so long and it just, I don't know, I don't think it was the most clear exactly what was happening, but I can forgive that stuff because everything after the murder was incredible, so like it evens out. So yeah, I would wholeheartedly recommend this movie. 100%. It's real good. Definitely worth a watch. I also love that literally the last 30 minutes is him just explaining who did it. Like, it had a solid half an hour of just pure explanation. It's great. And lastly is Cactus Flower. This is a 1969 film, also featuring Goldie Hawn. And the basic premise is this older gentleman is dating this younger girl, Goldie Hawn, but he lied at the beginning of their relationship saying that he had a wife and kids, but he really doesn't. He did it so that she wouldn't get too attached. But then she tries to kill herself at the beginning of the movie, and he's like, oh, this chick's for real. Let's get married. And then she's like, okay, but first I need to meet your wife, and then you can divorce her and stuff. And he's like, no. But then she threatens to leave him. And he's like, okay, I'll let you meet my totally real wife. So he then convinces his assistant nurse to pretend to be his wife, but she maybe has some actual feelings for him. Ooh. 2. So this is basically just a really silly sitcom. Like, it does a lot of sitcom-y things, but that's fine because it's a lot of fun. Like, it's a blast. And what's extra nice too is that, like, in sitcoms, you know, you have to wait 5 to 10 years for like the people you want to get together. But in here, you only have to wait like 90 plus minutes. So that's nice. Yeah, it was definitely a good, solid movie. I really loved the cute neighbor boy. He was a lot of fun. I think the humor was great. It was very 70s, and so that was a little much at times. But I think everyone gave a good performance. If you want a cute, fun, silly little movie, this is a cute, fun, silly little movie. So it's, again, definitely worth a watch if that's what you're vibing for. So, yeah. Alrighty, now for today's rankings. First up, we got Autumn Sonata, sitting at number 7 in the really liked. I put it just above Casablanca, and that feels like the exact right spot. Ingrid gives such a great performance, and yeah, it's such a good movie. Totally recommend it. And then after that is Murder on the Orient Express from 1974, sitting at number 22, also in the really liked section. And then bringing up the rear, not too terribly far behind, is Cactus Flower, sitting near the top of the quite like section. And this is out of a total of 66 old movies so far this year.